is Chicago's very own WGN News.
President Trump and his administration ramping up its crackdown on immigration, using a wartime law to deport some, while others are having their legal status revoked. Rosalba Pina, an immigration attorney based in Chicago, joins us live to talk about this. How are you?
Hello, how are you? Very good, thank you.
Good. Let's talk about what happened this weekend. The president deporting, 300 members of a Venezuelan gang to El Salvador using the Aliens Enemies Act of 98, I should say. Was that used properly?
Well, after the president invoked the Aliens Enemy Act of 1798, a federal court issued an injunction, but the individuals were still removed from the United States. And at this point, I believe that there is an issue because, it brings to light the whole separation of power and abiding by the law and by the Constitution. So I think that right now, it's just another concerning indication that perhaps rules are not being followed.
Yeah, that's a wartime act that's only been used 3 times. One of the times it was used to put people of Japanese heritage during World War II in encampment, and some of them were legal citizens. So what does this make you think?
Well, we're not at war. I mean, the question would be, who are we at war with to make use of this act?
Although Donald Trump this weekend saying on Air Force One, we are at war.
I mean, I don't think we're at war. I mean, who are we at war with? And the problem with utilizing the Aliens Enemy Act is that it deprives individuals of due process. It allows summary removals, and individuals are not given an opportunity to go before an immigration court or a federal court, and it includes non-citizens. So it would also include permanent residents, and again, there was an injunction, and the individuals were still removed. So that has raised a lot of concern.
So you say he used this illegally. So what is to keep him from using other things to deport those who have legal status here in the United States?
Well, that is definitely a fear that is rising with the immigrant community because on March 12th, they published in the Federal Register the registration of aliens, and there are over 3 million individuals that are impacted by this. They need to register specifically, and it includes many more, but those that enter without inspection, that have been living here for many years, that have never had any contact with the federal government or crimes, that are members of our community, they need to register, and they need to carry proof of registration. If they don't register, if they don't carry proof of registration, the penalty can be a fine, incarceration, and removal from the United States. So when we see what happened this weekend, and when we see what it is expected of undocumented individuals to register, it definitely causes fear, and it raises concern that perhaps if individuals register, that they might be placed in removal proceedings, and maybe even that they might not be given an opportunity to defend themselves before an immigration court or a federal court.
Ms. Pina, have you been busy with cases like this?
Well, this is something that it's relatively new, so it's in real time. I have been practicing for 28 years, but I can tell you that I've never, in my 20 years of practice, seen such an intense effort to remove individuals from the United States, and also the fear that is just sweeping immigrant communities. The whole thing with sanctuary cities like Chicago, with the current administration having issues with sanctuary cities, with sanctuary states, and suing, and just threats. And it's just, I've never seen anything like this. And then we have, the president wanting to do away with the 14th Amendment just with a mere executive order instead of following what the Constitution dictates. Right, exactly. So it's just a constant bombardment from left and right and top and bottom, and it's like, oh my God, brace yourself. It's definitely we're living in very I don't want to use the word strange, but it's definitely a very difficult and very different environment than what I've been used to in my 28 years of practice as an immigration attorney.
Rosalba Pina, immigration attorney, thank you so much.
Thank you.